Star Citizen's Alpha 3.24 Cargo Empires introduces a wealth of updates that improve life in the verse for those vital cargo haulers and citizens of all walks of life, including freight elevators, persistent hangars, and all new missions. In this video, I want to show you all the things I've found, good or bad, while playing the latest patch. I hope to show you the ropes on what to do and what not to do while unloading your precious cargo using the new freight elevator mechanics. This new patch aims to implement systems and content for players to physically load and unload cargo to and from their ships by conveying cargo to and from hangars, landing pads, garages, and docking collars. For the new cargo flow, you will be storing cargo in the local player inventory or warehouse, allowing you to use the freight elevator in your hangar to access the inventory physically. The freight elevator kiosk will have added functionality for inventory management, including sub-inventories like these boxes, so players can move things around and recall them for manual transfer on and off their ships. Since I run the Reclaimer, I like to take off and land from Grimhacks. Grimhacks allows me the possibility to sell an infinite amount of resources like salvage and construction materials. With that said, let me explain the do's and don'ts considering the number of bugs still out there in the verse. I myself enjoy working with a Reclaimer and selling all the construction materials I gather from wrecks and missions, but I found you need to follow a methodical approach to unloading and selling your cargo if you don't want to lose part of it. The process is tedious. No surprise here, the process of manually unloading and unloading crates takes a lot of time. Valuable time that you could be spending in the verse doing whatever it is that you like to do. Thankfully, the developers added an auto unload feature. What this means is that your ship will be loaded or unloaded automatically for a fee and a time penalty of sorts. Now that we covered the basics, let's dive into some additional considerations I know will help you streamline your loading gameplay while remaining productive during each gaming session. Hangar size. Hangar sizes will be assigned based on the largest ship you may have purchased with real money. That means you will have access to a larger hangar if, like me, you purchased a Reclaimer with real money. The problem for me is that I almost always get the extra large hangar, and even though my Reclaimer is big, I always land dead center on the pad. The freight elevator is far from my ship, making the transportation of crates a tedious task. I hope they can implement tractor beams or ground vehicles to transport large crates. Manual unloading takes time. Depending on your ship, the size of the crates, and the design of your cargo base, this process may take anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes. In my case, it took me close to 30 minutes to unload 12 crates, each with 16 SEU. Since I run a Reclaimer, I had to process the materials, move the crates two at a time into the elevator, move them from the ground to the elevator, and repeat the process. I spent close to 35 minutes just unloading, which in my eyes takes away from the experience. I sometimes want to relax, explore, and do other things. With limited playtime, manual unloading just makes it harder to make any money and progress in this game. Move your cargo first. If you lower your cargo into the warehouse and then go to the kiosk to sell your goods, you will be able to sell them. I move all my crates into the elevator, lower them, and move them to the green warehouse space. Then, I walk into the admin office, choose the local inventory of my location, and sell my cargo. Do not sell before unloading. I noticed that if you go to the admin office and you use the terminal, you will be able to see the number of crates you have in your cargo bay. For some reason, developers have decided to allow you to sell the cargo before unloading it. You can complete the transaction and receive a message that materials are waiting for transport. If you do this, sell your materials and then head to your ship to unload. A message will pop up on the elevator transport screen requesting confirmation to move sold items. I tried several times, but I never received the payment. I lost valuable crates and time doing it this way. After inspection, I went back to the admin office and noticed the cargo still showed in my cargo bay, which was strange and most likely a bug. Be mindful of your ship's cargo grid. Each ship is equipped with a cargo grid that allows crates and boxes to be deposited and arranged according to the ship's volumetric capacity. You can observe this by carefully placing items and boxes on the floor of your ship. When properly positioned, the boxes will turn white, indicating the available arrangement within the cargo grid. Stacking boxes on top of one another can double or even triple your cargo grid capacity by maximizing the vertical space available. This is especially useful for transporting large quantities of materials or commodities. However, be aware that when trading, selling, or buying items, only the boxes placed within the designated cargo grid spaces will count towards the amount of goods you can sell. This brings me to the next point. I've noticed that while you can get creative with arranging your cargo, even placing boxes outside the designated cargo grid slots, the system used by admins or kiosks for selling commodities won't recognize those items as sellable goods. So even though you can physically carry extra boxes, they won't count toward your tradable inventory. Going back to the example of my reclaimer, I actually have much more space for my boxes than the designated cargo grid allows. However, when I go down to the admin office to sell them, only the boxes, crates, or containers positioned within the cargo grid are recognized for unloading and sale. This forces me to return to my ship, identify which crates or containers couldn't be sold, reposition them properly within the cargo grid, and then head back to the admin office to sell the remaining crates. If manual unloading is your thing, but you want to become more efficient at loading and unloading cargo, try planning your landings carefully. A large ship like the Reclaimer can be challenging to maneuver in tight spaces, but its size can also be advantageous. By positioning your ship strategically, you can reduce the distance between the cargo bay and the freight elevator. Depending on your ship's shape and configuration, experiment with different landing positions to find the most efficient setup for your specific vessel. Taking a few extra minutes to land your ship as close as possible to the upper or lower corners of the hangar can save time, making it just a few steps to drop off your cargo. Certain ships are equipped with tractor beams. If yours has one, you should definitely incorporate it into your loading and unloading process. I found it incredibly useful to use a tractor beam on my Reclaimer to move large crates with ease across long distances. You'll need to maneuver the crates within the pivot range of the tractor beam for it to work. But once the crates are within reach, your loading and unloading times can be reduced drastically. Lastly, as a final recommendation, I suggest getting into the habit of always storing your ship before heading to the admin office to sell your cargo. That is, if you plan to use the auto-loading feature. I cannot tell you how many times I had to go back and forth before realizing this feature only works if your ship has been properly stored. Save yourself some time and remember this as soon as you land. Auto-load or unload won't work if your ship is left standing in the hangar. Also, know that your ship will be unavailable during the auto-loading process. The admin kiosks will display the time it will take to complete. Once the process is finished, your ship will be available for retrieval. Alright, well, folks, this is all for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button. It only takes a second. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, that is. This is Nomad, and I'll see you guys in the verse.